Hey guys! The choice of Bauk for the trailer of The Witcher 4 with Ciri as a witcher and monster hunter is deeply symbolic and resonates strongly with her character arc. Bauk is a creature rooted in Slavic folklore, and as a Slavic lady myself, I can't wait to share this culture and my thoughts about this dark entity with you. Today we'll talk about Bauk's origin, what this monster represents, how we can fight it, and why choosing it for the first trailer was a genius move regarding the lore and narrative for Ciri's character arc. Let's start talking. Bauk is a creature from Slavic folklore, particularly dominant in Serbian and Balkan traditions. It's a shadowy, nocturnal entity that is often used as a boogeyman figure to frighten children into obedience. Its characteristics and abilities are varied and influenced by local storytelling, but Bauk is almost always portrayed as a predatory, cunning, and malevolent creature. Bauk's physical description is deliberately vague, adding to its fear factor. Some tales describe it as a hulking, bear-like figure with shaggy fur, sharp claws, and glowing eyes, while others depict it as a shadowy, amorphous being that can melt into the darkness. Growling sounds or heavy, ominous footsteps often accompany its presence. Bauk is said to lurk in dark, desolate places, forests, caves, abandoned houses, or even beneath bridges. It avoids the light, which weakens it, preferring to hunt in the cover of night. People often warn children not to stray into these places, because Bauk could devour them. Bauk is a master of stealth. It is said to move silently through the darkness, waiting for the right moment to pounce on unsuspecting prey. It is most feared for snatching children who wander too far from home or adults traveling alone at night. In some versions of the myth, Bauk can transform its appearance, blending into its environment or disguising itself as a harmless creature to get close to its prey. Bauk is often associated with inducing terror. Its mere presence is said to freeze people in their tracks, rendering them defenseless. This ability is sometimes attributed to its eerie growls or piercing stare. In many stories, Bauk is depicted as incredibly strong, capable of ripping doors off hinges or smashing through obstacles to get to its prey. One consistent aspect of Bauk folklore is its aversion to light. Tortures, fires, or even the rising sun can drive it away, making light an essential defense against it. Analyzing what we saw in the trailer, we can suggest that in order to defeat Bauk, we should use Igni for damage and Quen for protection while drinking a new potion that helps Ciri concentrate. Maybe it could be an old one, like a cat. As we know from The Witcher 3, this potion grants sight in total darkness and immunity to hypnosis. But let me know what you think. Maybe you think it will be a new potion. Bauk is more than just a monster. It embodies primal fears of the unknown, darkness, and isolation. In Slavic folklore, it served as a cautionary tale to keep children close to home and to discourage reckless behavior in adults. In this way, it's both a literal and metaphorical guardian of boundaries. Ciri's character arc in the Witcher series is heavily defined by her fear of her own nature and struggle for control over her destiny. Psychologically, Bauk mirrors her fear of the unknown, isolation, and loneliness. Bauk is a creature that thrives in the dark, embodying fear. Similarly, Ciri has faced unknown dangers throughout her life, be it either elder blood powers, the wild hunt, or her complicated relationship with destiny. Bauk serves as a metaphor for her fear of the dark parts of herself, her power, her anger, and her potential for destruction. At the same time, Bauk is a solitary monster, hiding in the shadows, much like how Ciri spent much of her life running, hiding, and feeling alone. Her journey to become a witcher is an attempt to find purpose and belonging, but Bauk reminds us that she still battles the emotional scars of abandonment and isolation. As a witcher, Ciri embodies the archetype of the savior. If you haven't watched the character analysis that I made before, remember to follow the channel and watch the previous video. So, Ciri is someone who confronts monsters, both literal and metaphorical. Bauk highlights her evolution in mastering fear. In confronting Bauk, Ciri faces not just an external monster, but also her own deep-seated fears and traumas. She can hear the whispers and echoes during the battle. Her willingness to walk into the darkness and face Bauk head-on reflects her courage and refusal to let fear control her anymore. In the meantime, Ciri shows how easy it is to blur the lines between monster and human. Bauk's vague, shadowy nature speaks to one of the central themes in The Witcher. Who is the real monster? This question applies to Ciri as well. Is she still a human after everything that has happened to her? Her elder blood powers make her feared by others, and she sometimes struggles to define herself as either a savior or a destroyer. We also know that she passed the trial of the grasses, so who knows what happened to her after that? Facing Bauk becomes an opportunity for Ciri to define herself not as a monster, but as someone who confronts and overcomes monstrosity. Bauk is a brilliant choice for the trailer because it ties together Ciri's inner struggles, her cultural and mythical roots, and her evolution into a powerful monster hunter. It's a story of confronting the shadow self, reclaiming agency, and fighting darkness with the power of light. A perfect encapsulation of her journey and a promise of what's to come in The Witcher 4. Yes, Bauk is a creature tied to childhood tales, often used to frighten children into staying safe at home. However, its appearance in the trailer is likely a callback to Ciri's childhood worries while she is already an adult. Fears not just of monsters but of abandonment, betrayal, and powerlessness. Choosing Bauk as the first monster we see in Ciri's story taps into deep-seated fears that are universal. Fear of the dark, fear of isolation, and fear of the unknown. For us, the players, it creates a visceral emotional connection to Ciri's arc even before we start playing the game. It reminds us that we all have monsters lurking in the shadows of our minds, but with courage, we can confront and overcome them, just as Ciri does. That's it for today, guys. I hope you like this early lore entry. We shall see how close to the truth the in-game Bauk will be to its Slavic inspiration, so let's start the discussion. Do you think that The Witcher 4 will showcase more new monsters from Slavic folklore? If so, who might that be? For now, have fun, play video games, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!